Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you all have had a great Friday so far, and hope you are having a great evening as we're getting into the weekend, as we've finally ended our work week. Thank the good Lord for that. But we're going to talk about weather-wise this weekend across the eastern U.S. It has a chance to be quite a wintry weekend for certain areas, especially basically portions of the Midwest down to the Ohio Valley, talking about Minnesota, down to Wisconsin, into Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan. Certain areas where, you get affected big time by the lake effect snow bands. The lake effect snows are going to kick off a little bit. I don't anticipate any widespread major accumulations, but there could be some accumulating snow. And it's going to be kind of exciting because it'll be the first snow of the year for certain areas. Chicago saw their first flakes of the year. They're actually seeing flakes around the area right now. It's probably going to continue to wind down overnight in that area. But that's what we're really going to break down. We'll talk about the southeast too, and mid-Atlantic temperature-wise, but I'm not going to keep you all long tonight. There's not a ton to talk about. There's nothing major coming up in the foreseeable future. I think by the time we get to the end of this weekend, we will start to talk a little bit about Thanksgiving week and what can be expected weather-wise as we begin to get a little bit more confidence in that category of what is going to happen. But thank you all for the amazing support. Thank you all for still watching. For those who still are, even in the slower times, hit the subscribe button. If you're somebody who watches and haven't hit that subscribe button, I have a personal goal of mine to hit 10K by the end of the year. And I know all it takes is a couple storms, a couple big time nor'easters that everybody gets excited about, and or some people worry about them, obviously, because some can be destructive and dangerous. But so that is my goal, just 10K by the end of the year. So like the video. If you like it, subscribe if you haven't. Thank you all for the amazing support. I would love to get more followers from different areas like the Ohio Valley, like the Midwest. I know a lot of my followers are definitely in the Southeast, but I would like to expand it. So that's another goal of mine this winter, is to expand my viewage as far as coverage. But let's get going here. I've talked a lot here the first 2 minutes. So getting going here, what's going on is basically you have an Alberta Clipper coming down from Canada, and these like to surge out of Canada into the lower 48, southeast, and sometimes they kick up some winds, they kick up some snow, but they're never that big of a deal unless you have them coming down and merging with some low pressure off the coast, and then sometimes you can get a big time storm system. But the rest of the system that's moving through basically overnight right now into overnight will work its way through the Ohio Valley. Won't really bring much of anything. This will kick a little bit of a northwest flow event for the mountains. So into the morning hours tomorrow morning, you could be waking up with a little bit of snow in mountainous areas, even as far south as Tennessee and North Carolina. Maybe a dusting of snow, maybe a little interior snow for areas of the interior northeast. And then the lake effect snow bands will be kicking off tomorrow. So any kind of football games going on tomorrow, I don't anticipate any big time weather unless you're in Michigan, and you might see some flurries flying around. But as we're getting into overnight Saturday to Sunday, you see this system right here. This will brings a little bit of snow into Minneapolis and getting into Wisconsin, so Eau Claire, Madison, and we'll see what happens in Chicago. But I really think you guys are going to see a little bit more snow too. And then the system gets a little bit more robust, and low pressure swings through. It's bringing cold air with it, another reinforcing shot of chilly air. And then places in Michigan and the Ohio area, Indiana, getting into Pennsylvania, could really see, some snow showers throughout the day, Sunday evening especially, getting into Sunday overnight into Monday. And then this tries to pop off, does a little bit of transfer to the coast and get a little bit of a system going, but it's a little too late with it, and it gets on through here and moves into areas of southeast Canada. This might be a sneaky event that might provide a little bit of heavy snow for portions of Maine, but we'll watch that. But this is getting away from the weekend now. And then you got another piece of energy you might be watching for early next week. But as far as looking at the HRRR model, if you're basically from Minnesota down to Wisconsin, Illinois, even Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, this is the areas where you have to watch. This system starts cranking up here at the same time. You have some lake effect snow bands firing off Lake Erie. Some of these can be intense depending on where you are. These are lake effect snow bands, and you guys know it most who live in these areas. One of these days, I want to chase one of these massive lake effect snow bands. That would be awesome. For you guys and folks that just live in those areas, y'all know how isolated this can be. You could have a foot and a half of snow in one area, then drive 5 minutes up the road, and they only have a few inches. They just sit in one area. And so you have to watch out for some intense lake effect snow bands, maybe getting into tomorrow afternoon, firing off of Lake Erie. Might just be just cold enough just off the lakes. But at the same time, I wouldn't call these snow squalls really. You look at the soundings for some of these snow showers in Michigan. They're DGZs, which basically is how intense precip is coming down. It's a little bit elevated, but not really. Very dry air, so a lot of this isn't going to be hitting the ground. A lot of dry air aloft. At the surface, the dew points are supportive, so we'll watch. But look at this piece of energy dropping down. This starts to bring a few hour period of basically some light to moderate snow for areas of Minneapolis. This works its way into Wisconsin. About the entire state of Wisconsin could see some snow. Portions of Iowa, especially northeast Iowa, could see a blast of snow if you're in these areas. Forgive me, I don't know every single town and city in these areas because I'm not around from this area. But as this gets into maybe the overnight hours into basically this is around midnight, say Saturday night into Sunday, a beefy little round of snow, according to the HRRR model, starts to make its way into northern Illinois, so Rockford, into Chicago. Maybe overnight you wake up to a dusting of snow. Meanwhile, you still got snow showers flying around here in Wisconsin. This will continue to move through, getting to Indiana. So as you're waking up, folks in Indiana getting into Ohio, southern areas of Michigan, at the same time the lake effect snow bands start firing off Lake Michigan. We have to watch because you get this first round that really moves through, and then you might have some squally weather with some just snow showers basically all over the Ohio Valley as we're getting into our Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon. So I think it's going to be a wintry day. I'm not sure NFL-wise who plays games at home in these areas. I think of Cincinnati. I think of Cleveland. I think of Detroit. Detroit's in the dome anyways. But might see some flakes flying around. Might see a couple games. I'm not sure who's playing in these areas. Might see some flakes flying around depending on who's playing at home and outside or not. But it'll be interesting. A wintry day. If you're living in Ohio Valley tomorrow, Sunday, definitely a wintry day for sure with flakes flying around. As far as how much snow could fall, we'll bump this all the way out into Monday morning. You notice this is a blend of the National Weather Service. So these are the professionals here, and this is really not like the HRRR model output, but you got a nice little coating, a couple inches of snow, nothing devastating or anything like that, rolling through Minnesota into Wisconsin, and then you watch the areas just off Lake Michigan that could see several inches of snow, and then you see the Ohio Valley. You're thinking, well, that's not a lot, but these are realistic totals. So isolated areas could definitely see an inch. It's like in this area in northern Indiana to see several inches of snow. So we'll watch this, and then obviously you see Lake Erie. See these lake effect snow bands right here, and a lot of this starts really kicking off as we're getting into overnight Saturday into Sunday. So we'll watch this. Just a wintry weekend. It's getting into that time of the year where it gets cold. As far as temperatures, tomorrow morning we'll wake up sub-freezing temperatures dipping all the way down to northern Arkansas, portions of Oklahoma, even Kentucky and Tennessee could see it. The cold front hasn't really worked its way completely through as far as areas in the southeast. So really not too cold. If you're in Alabama and Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, it can be quite chilly into the 30s. I really think tomorrow is going to be a nice day, just depending on where you're at. I think clear skies are going to be basically intact here, especially if you're in the Carolinas. Beautiful weather. And but if you go from the Carolinas points west, this is really where the cold air has sunk in. So I've been saying it for days. If you're in Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, areas of the mountains of northern Georgia, it's going to be a chilly, chilly day. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s. It's going to feel like January out there. And then we're getting into Sunday morning. And then that's why certain areas in Alabama and Georgia are under their freeze watches, because they really think that these areas are going to get below freezing down here. And a pretty significant hard freeze for areas in the mountains too. And then Sunday, the cooler air shifts a little bit east, but it's still not going to be super, super cold or anything like that. Then a reinforcing shot moves through as we're getting into early next week, but that gets into next week. That's all I got, guys. This video went on a little bit longer than I thought it would, but I know a lot of people don't view from that area, the Ohio Valley and the Midwest, but I think it's important to talk about those folks too. And I'm hoping I can get some more subscribers from that area because being a storm chaser, I plan on traveling all across the eastern U.S. next year, depending on where the worst weather is. I'm very excited to do that with you guys, and I'm very excited about the future with me and the weather and just sharing it with you guys. So thank you all for the support. Y'all have a great start to your weekend, and God bless all y'all.